I sincerely hope that was a helpful resource for you to equip you to play this song at your church. But before you go, hold on for a second. If I might just have a minute of your time to encourage you with the meaning behind the lyrics and the heart of this song. This song perfectly captures the true biblical idea of worship. Biblical worship is not just a song. Worship is not just a service. Worship is not just a ritual or a set of practices. Worship is my whole life lived out in response to the goodness and grace of God, my whole life. And my top favorite scriptures in the Bible is Romans 12, 1-2. A lot of you probably know that, but it says, "Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." Another version of this passage I memorized when I was younger says, "Present your bodies as a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service." And I've always been fascinated by that word. The word reasonable is the Greek word logikos, and it can mean a few different things. First, it can mean rational, which would imply that in light of all we know God did for us on the cross, in light of the good news of God, that Jesus Christ literally took our place on the cross and raised from the dead, how could we not offer our lives in return? It's a rational exchange. His actual sacrifice for our living sacrifice. It's reasonable. The word logikos can also mean spiritual, which could also make sense in this passage since Paul has just argued that Jesus has done away with the sacrificial system once and for all, and now you and I have direct access to God in a spiritual way, with our hearts and through our minds. The writer of Hebrews also echoes this idea when we're encouraged to draw near to God with a sincere heart, right? We don't need a special time or place or person to mediate. We can come to him anytime, anywhere with our hearts. We can come to him with our spirits. And logikos can also mean true, which would also make sense in light of the fact that we're not to follow, as he says, the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. So receiving and believing and acting on what is true and right and actually good according to the kingdom over and above the false narratives the world offers, that's worship as well. Or maybe Paul has all three of these meanings in his mind. If we gave our worst and Jesus gave his blood, what other response is there but to surrender our lives as a living sacrifice? If Jesus made a way for us to connect with and draw near to God without the need to bring him anything physical, he's not asking us to repay his love. He's simply asking we draw near with a sincere heart. And if the truth of the gospel means that Jesus surrendered his will to the Father, what other option do we have but to lay down our version of the truth and lay down our lives and make it our new life endeavor to match our will to his? This is worship. And this is exactly what the song is all about. We need more songs like this on our lips, songs that will form our hearts and our minds toward biblical worship. So if you haven't heard or played this song yet, I can't recommend it enough. But hey, I also want to invite you over to my Instagram where I wrestle with all these kinds of things related to both gear and worship theology and philosophy. I think it's so important that we approach what we do with heart and craft, as I call it. God deserves, I believe, our best in both areas. And so as it relates to gear, all the sounds you heard on this cover all came from the Quad Cortex. No external effects were used. All the amps and drives were all using my own captures. And so if you want to check out those resources, head to thetoneshepard.com to snag those, and you can check out some of my other resources as well. But hey, let me know in the comments what songs are really impacting you right now. And while you're there, let me know how I can pray for you. I would be honored to do that as well. And thanks to all you faithful ones who watched until the very end. So until I see you in the next video, be blessed.